to me, it's a kind of a catch-all where it's easier to say track everything than it is to sit down and think through your actual requirements and what value you're how you're going to be getting value out of the tool and um, designing a solution towards specific goals. If you just say track everything, then you don't really have to think too hard about how you're going to use any particular part of it. Um, and then I think the other side that I sometimes see is folks who have maybe data quality issues, um, and they know that they might not be tracking certain page view things correctly, for instance. But if they track every single click, then they will be able to use this massive report with every single click in it. Um, that's kind of a fallback for when their data when they didn't do it correctly. At least they have their fallback and they can wade through the sea of useless data and find what they need rather than just fixing the report that was designed to answer their question.
Yeah, I think a lot of it from my perspective has been driven by a widespread belief that data collection is easy or should be easy, which I think is fundamentally false. It's incredibly complex and difficult to do it right. And because there's this belief that it's easy, it's led to a lot of companies either hiring or promoting within very inexperienced people to own data collection and implementation. And what that has led to is these bloated implementations that are not sustainable. And I think a big part of that comes from, again, the lack of experience to know how to develop something from a more sustainable perspective, but also that inexperience leads to a bit of a lack of leadership. And so a lot of those components become very reactionary, where they're kind of a doer of business requests. So as business stakeholders come in and say, well, we need this, we need this, we need this, their thought is, okay, I got to jump and go collect that. And they don't even slow down enough to think about the strategy behind it. They just do what is said because there's a lack of experience to lead it from a more proactive approach. So I think lack of experience in that role, I think, is a huge contributor to a lot of the use cases, Jim, that you laid out.
Which is tricky because it's hard to get experience enough in the role to be able to avoid some of those pitfalls and know which kind of data is worth tracking and be able to make good arguments perhaps against the different directions you might be pulled in that might not actually be in your best interest.
Yeah. No, agreed. And I think, maybe that is solved if we have a better investment in people. So we have a more broad distribution of experiences within teams. So you kind of have that built in mentor mentee model where people can learn but still have some structured guidance. But because budgets for analytics people are so incredibly small, that just typically doesn't work. You
Mm-hmm.
have one or two people in these multi-billion dollar organizations that are responsible for 18 different properties. It's too much.